What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome you back to more Let's Play Pokemon White. In the last episode, we defeated the leader of the Castelia City, Jim Berg, and we got ourselves the insect badge for it. We also decided to explore the last remaining street here in Castelia City, this final one that leads all the way up to Route 4, and we need to head on through the gate because waiting for us inside here is none other than Bianca! Well, I guess she's not technically in here. We got here first, but hey. Hey, Levi! You remember the promise you made on the cross transceiver, right? So let's get right to our Pokemon battle. But before that, they said we can have a Pokemon battle in the gate as long as we're careful not to break the electric bulletin board. I am the new and improved version of me. I'm going to do great this time. Let's start up our Pokemon battle again. Bianca, you're so polite that you're actually willing to ask. And you're definitely learning. I appreciate that. The growth that you've already experienced since leaving New Vema Town is impressive. And she's got 4 Pokemon this time, which is, wow, that's a lot. But we're going to put our Eviolite into action here with Arthur. That Intimidate is going to be a little bit of annoying to deal with because I obviously have Tackle to worry about here. But what I'm going to do for the very start of this is I'm actually going to throw out a Leech Seed. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I want to get some growths going on Arthur before we make it through this fight. And I'm glad that she is wasting a turn on Odor Sleuth. So let's do that first. Pokemon and me, we trained and got tough. I believe you, Bianca. I really, really do. But I'm also fully prepared to win this fight. So let's begin. Takedown. Let's see how much that does. Look at that Eviolite in action. That really helped a lot. Remember that takedown is the same type of attack bonus. That is pretty awesome damage. Okay. I'm going to try another growth because our attack went down 1 phase. So let's try to get it at least up 1, and then we'll have special attack up times 2. There is a takedown. And now, let's get that Leaf Tornado out of here. So, and you can probably hear a motorcycle outside. I don't know why that happens so freaking often when I'm trying to record things, but for some reason it seems like every single day somebody out there wants to rev their thing up. Anyway, don't take what I just said there out of context. Sorry, I specifically meant the motorcycle. I apologize. I think it's a dirt bike, though. Why the heck would they be dirt biking? Like, you got to drive a ways away from here. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that too much, but regardless, let's get to Leaf Tornadoing. And, ooh, look at this. We're probably just going to end up sweeping the remainder of the team now, which I am very much okay with. Pansear, though, that might make things a little bit more complicated. Leaf Tornado is still going to be stronger than Tackle, but I'm actually going to use it just for the sheer fact that I want to actually save my Leaf Tornadoes, and I am going to also just take this Yawn. It's okay, because I don't really think Oshawott, or actually I would believe it's going to be Duat at this stage, is going to be able to do all that much. So let's just do that. And now that Arthur is asleep, let's get a Chesto Berry in here, or an Awakening, or whatever. I think... Do I have any Chesto Berries? I still have 2. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm not really going to be equipping berries on my Pokemon anymore at this point in the game anyway. Just take the Razor Shell. Yeah, not a lot of damage, honestly. Although that did lower defense, which is the one big issue with it. But with our 2 stages of special attack raised, this should be an easy one-shot. And there we go. Very, very nice. Arthur almost hit level 24. Trained with Iris, but I still couldn't win. But you did good, Bianca, and I'm very proud of you. I'll never be a strong trainer like you or Cheren or Iris, but, you know, since we left New Vema Town, I've met a lot of people, and I've been thinking about what I want to do in life. When you look at it that way, Levi, Pokemon have given me a lot of new experiences. Having my Pokemon stolen was just really hard, and I felt really unsure. Still, I gotta say I'm really glad I went. I've learned so much on this journey, and I also learned that being with Pokemon is really, really important. Okay, well, I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye, Levi. Oh, Bianca, I didn't want to make you sad. That just bums me out. Gosh dang it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Route 4. Yes, this is a sand-covered desert route, and before we go any further, we got 3 new Pokemon to discuss that can be found in this area: Darumaka, Sandile, and Scraggy. Darumaka is a pure fire type that evolves into Darmanitan at level 35. This thing is as pure a physical sweeper as it gets, with a whopping 140 base attack when fully evolved and a very nice 95 base speed. Its HP stat is also fairly remarkable, making up for its lackluster defenses and special defenses. I mentioned it before when discussing Tepig earlier, but a Darumaka is a pretty fantastic substitute if you want a hard-hitting fire type. It learns some really good moves early on, such as Fire Fang and Fire Punch, eventually gaining stuff like Hammer Arm, Thrash, Flare Blitz, and even Superpower, rounding out this Pokemon as one of the best offensive choices in the entire game. Fire types do get sort of a raw deal later on in the game, not as bad as fighting of course, but if you're insistent on having one on your team, I really don't think you can do any better than this, its monotyping notwithstanding. Sandile is a ground and dark type that evolves into Krokorok at level 29 and again into Crocodile at level 40. This is a very good Pokemon with very balanced stats, a great type combination, and some fantastic moves at its disposal that it learns relatively early on, such as Dig and Crunch. It has a solid attack stat, good speed, and fairly okay defenses, and a little less okay special defenses, and an ability in Moxie that's actually one of the best abilities you could ever want for a sweeper, raising its attack stat with every Pokemon it knocks out in battle. The biggest downside of this Pokemon, however, is how difficult it can be to train. Not evolving even once until level 29 can make it sort of tough to drag along until it gets there. And even then, it's still not super impressive until it becomes Crocodile at level 40, which can take a fair bit longer than most other early game Pokemon in Generation 5 to fully evolve. It has a lot of good points, but those good points can be outweighed a little by how much longer it takes it to reach its full potential. And whether or not Crocodile is genuinely good enough to be worth that extra effort is up to you. Scraggy is a dark and fighting type Pokemon that evolves into Scrafty at level 39, which is a long shot right from the get-go. Its base stats are fairly good when unevolved, rounding out at 348, which is one of the best as far as base level Pokemon go. But once you do manage to get this thing to evolve, its potential is pretty insane. Scrafty is an absolute defensive stalwart with a very appealing 115 in both categories, despite its middling HP stat, and its attack stat is also nothing to sneeze at. The biggest issue with this Pokemon is its lack of speed, but it can take about anything you throw at it, and its typing is absolutely fantastic. Dark types on their own thrive in this game, but the fighting type being added and offsets its weakness to Bug, making it weak to very little. Only other fighting types and flying types being much of a threat, which allows you to mostly focus on physical defenses rather than special for complete coverage. But again, it's a lot of work. Level 39 is a big ask, especially for a Pokemon that doesn't evolve at all up to this point, so finding a place for it on your team might be a big ask. So, as we head out here, we are going to actually be using the dowsing machine quite a bit in this area. However, first things first, and as you see, oh yeah, sand looks darker, yeah, so that's basically the tall grass of this area. But as you can see, once we get out here, there is obviously going to be a lot of items to get. There's also going to be a lot of Pokemon to find. And I'm going to need to have the dowsing machine in tow. But I got to do battle against Cheren first before we go any further. So let's immediately hop into that as well. That's going to make things a little bit interesting. And I probably should have done some healing, but whatever. But yeah, I also managed to buy a bunch of repels after we defeated Berg in the last episode. I picked up something like 30 super repels. But we are going to burn through all of the regular repels first before we do that. And we're starting out with a P-Dove, which is going to be interesting. You know what? Actually, I want the double money out of this fight, so I'm going to switch on over to Marty. Marty is like a sliver of experience away from evolving anyway, so why the heck not? Let's do this thing. Yeah, P-Dove's got Air Cutter, which, you know, no matter which way I swing it, that is going to be a little bit to deal with. So everyone's buffeted by the Sandstorm, and then let's just hit it with a Shockwave. There's no reason to use a Spark in this instance. Not that we really have a chance of missing with Spark, but this is more than enough to deal with the problem. And there we go. Level 28 for Marty. And we get a little bit of experience, but the big thing is that we now are going to get double the money. And also Arthur evolves and wants to learn Mega Drain, and that is what I was waiting for. I'm going to get rid of Leech Seed. Now, obviously, Leech Seed still has a place that Mega Drain does not, being able to passively work the entire time, but the fact that I can just heal on command with it is kind of a big deal. So, now that we got Pansage next, I am going to switch back on over to Arthur, who should have no problem getting a growth sweep set up for this part. So let's do it. You're not going to be doing really anything to Arthur. And if I can get it to a point where I'm actually able to do a lot of damage to Pignite, when we get to that Pokemon, I will be very, very happy. Buffeted by the Sandstorm, which was basically as strong as that bite was. And I'm sure that he's going to throw Pignite out next. I think I'm also going to use the opportunity to heal here in a second. Just go a little bit further. Well, let's do one more growth, and then I think I'll be happy. There is also a place to heal on this route, so don't you worry. We will come across it soon. But there is another one. That's enough where I think I am just going to use a... Should I just use a super potion or should I go full lemonade? Let's go super potion. That's more than enough. It is going to knock Arthur's health down a little bit more with the bite and the sandstorm. Almost said sand attack. But now we should be able to get off a tackle and get rid of this Pansage, no problem. Beautiful. Now, because Pignite is more physically defensive than specially defensive, I am actually going to just use Leaf Tornado for this. I know it's not going to be very effective, but with that 3 times increase on my special attack, it should still be fine. Let's see how much this does. And maybe we can also lower his accuracy as well. Yes, indeed we can. And he's going to waste a turn using Defense Curl. Maybe I should have gotten the tackle off first. Whatever. I don't even care. Let's just use it again. And Pignite gets buffeted by that, although does have a berry, which is a little bit of an issue, and that's a Citrus Berry. Let's see how much tackle does. I'm going to assume that Arthur can hang in there. Here's a Flame Charge. This might cause some issues. We'll see how much Arthur can handle that. Ooh. Hopefully Arthur is still faster even with... Yeah, hopefully Arthur's still faster. Let's just use Tackle. Yep, okay, he is. Shoo! We're good. All right, and now for Cheren's last Pokemon. 880 experience. Buffeted again, but this time it's Liepard, and I am actually going to use Mega Drain for the remainder of this fight. Please don't use Fake Out. It used Pursuit. Come on, hang in there. Arthur, 1 HP. Oh, you are a stud. I love to see it. That is a lot of healing. Thank you. That's all the health I needed. And there we go. Level 25. Beautiful. 11 levels to go. Impressive, but why can't I win? It's because I'm better than you. It's now clear to me. The reason you are so tough is the trust between you and your Pokemon. But that shouldn't be a problem. I can get more out of my Pignite and my other Pokemon too. And now the Cross Transceiver is ringing. Why is it ringing? Hello there, Levi. Do you have a second? Professor Juniper, do you need something? Called Bianca too, but I guess she didn't hear the call. I wonder what she's caught up in. Well, I suppose I'll just have to call her again later. Okay, I'll be waiting for you two in front of the gate to Nimbasa City. Hello? Boss's gate is straight down Route 4. And then Cheren just kind of awkwardly and socially ineptly takes off again. We're not going to be meeting up with Professor Juniper and Cheren for quite some time because we've got a lot of this route to explore as well as another area to explore before we go any further. So actually, probably shouldn't have gotten out of my menu there. We are going to get to running around in all these areas. Let me get... No, I'm in the wrong menu. It's right here. We got 16 repels to get through. So that honestly might be enough to go through all these areas. Let's start by immediately granting this X accuracy, something I probably was going to use in the Berg Gym battle, but didn't end up having to. Let's check inside this house and see what we got. Here, hello, ma'am. What, are you worn out? Okay, then rest here for a minute, and this is it. This is the obligatory heal spot on any of these bigger routes. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Now we may continue without issue. So let me actually, I'm going to actually head down here. It looks like, I think this item is all the way down the cliffs. So I'm going to go all the way over here, and we got some fishermen to battle. They're going to be mostly throwing water types at us, which for Arthur, that's not going to be a problem whatsoever. But you know what I really like is that in this game, there are no Magikarp for fishermen to waste our time with like there were in previous generations. One of the nice things about cutting out the old gems, it actually keeps... It actually helps the developers control themselves a little bit, which I really, really like. Also, I can use both Leaf Tornado and Mega Drain to probably one-shot these guys. Mega Drain only has a base power of 40, but it's still more than enough most of the time with the same type attack bonus. So I'll just use it on this next Basculin. And I think there's one more Fisherman, and this is also, like I said, the area where that item's at. So let's just do that. I think this should be enough, right? Oh, yeah, with ease. And some good experience. I could fight Basculin all day. At least those are worth my time. Look at all that experience I get out of it. Level 26. Not bad. Only took, what, 2 battles to get there? Or to get 2 levels? Bell's effect wears off. That's okay. All right, our next item is right there. That is a Pearl. This is a sellable item. Unlike mushrooms, there is no special treasure hunter to give it to, unfortunately. But, I mean, it's still pretty nice. And now we got another fisherman, Andrew. This guy's got 4 Pokemon this time. Are they going to all be Basculin again? I mean, like I said, I'm okay with this. Could honestly push Arthur up to level 27 without really any issue. And we're wanting to get him as much experience as possible because we are about an episode away from getting ourselves our next team member. And I'm serious when I say that. It could be the Pokemon on this route. It could be the Pokemon on the next route. I'm going to leave you guys in the dark on that one, though, because I'm going to be a lot more picky with the Pokemon that I'm grabbing here in the future. A little bit more, sensitive to the nature of the Pokemon itself as opposed to just going with the first one that I grab. So I'm going to end up catching multiples and then rooting through my box and seeing which one ends up the best and all that good stuff. So I do apologize, but the better I can make my team, obviously, the more beneficial that is for me. Yeah. Just keep using Aqua Jet. I mean, at least it gets you in some free damage before I end up one-shotting you, but it will not save you, not this time. And down you go. Beautiful. Man, I could just sit and play Pokemon all day long, and I'm dead serious about that. It is just so therapeutic and relaxing, and sometimes you just need a change of scenery, so you just switch on over to another Pokemon game. But, being able to play Gen 5 again, a gen that, and I want to clarify this, because I said before that I love Gen 5. This is probably not even like in my top 3 most played gens, though. Like, I love this generation, but I do not have like a ton of time and experience with it. I need some tools and some helpers and some guides to actually get me through everything in this game, because I am not as familiar with it as other people are. Because Generation 5, one of the reasons it's very special to me is because it was kind of my reintroduction to the Pokemon series. There was about a 5-year window where I'm not going to say I didn't play Pokemon games, because I did, but I didn't play any new Pokemon games. Part of the reason that Generation 3 was such a big deal for me was because it was the only generation I was stuck with for a very long time. All while Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum were relevant, I was still stuck on Pokemon Emerald. And Pokemon Black and White came out. I still didn't have it because at the time I didn't have a Nintendo DS, and it wasn't until right before the sequels came out that I finally hopped on and got to play these first games, and that was when I fell in love with these things. So while I do love this game tremendously, pretty much every single Pokemon game post Gen 3, I have not spent, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on like I did previously with some of my early gens, because, I was a kid back then. Kids have a lot more time to play these sorts of games. This came out by the time I was an adult, and I no longer had that time. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm just not quite as familiar. I'm more familiar with it than I am with Gens 6, 7, and, well, might be a little too early to say Gen 9, but still, pretty much all those except for maybe Gen 8. And Gen 8 is a little bit of a special case that, man, I cannot wait to get to someday. I know a lot of people really hate on Sword and Shield, but those games are actually quite special to me for reasons that people probably wouldn't think of. It's not because the game is necessarily of a superb quality or anything. It's for other reasons, but we'll get into that when we get into that. Back to this one, though. Yeah, I just want to kind of clarify that while I love Pokemon Black and White very much, they are not games that I am like the most familiar with. I definitely have more history with Gens 3 and 1. And I would even go as far to say Gen 8 and maybe possibly the sequel more than this one. Maybe that's not entirely correct now that I think about it. I think I played through the story of the second one more, which is hilarious because I do think that game has the weaker main game than this one. It just has possibly a better post game, although that's also up to interpretation. We'll talk about that when we get to that one as well. Oh man, you have to have all these freaking rock and rollers with their sturdies and such. That's just annoying, and also hitting me with the mud slap for the accuracy bump, and you're just not cool, man. You're just not cool. I'm going to use Tackle just to get rid of you. And I guess since our accuracy is down, I will switch on over to Marty for this last one, and then we can get a little bit of a money increase. Oh, no, it's Timber. Well, I'll still switch anyway. Because, yeah, I get that double money increase. And this is what you get for trying to lower my accuracy, sir. You have to now pay me double. Really, though, where does that money come from exactly? Is it like they see the amulet coin and they're like, I guess I owe you more money now? It's like, that can't be how that works, right? Is it just pulling double the money out of the ether? Honestly, I don't know. But down goes Timber. We defeated Worker Gus, who doesn't even have all that much money to begin with. But all right, guys, we are just about done with this episode here. We still have more trainers to take on this route as we continue through it, although they're not very many more. I think what we'll do is we will battle this last worker over here, and then grab the item above him, and then I think we'll call it an episode. We will save the remainder of this route for next time, and then also the next area, like I said. So, yeah, just continuing to grab all this stuff, though, but let's see what this guy has. He's only got one, which is pretty easy, just a timber. We can absolutely handle that. And, you know, timber... I really wish timber wasn't so hideous. I hate the vein armpit. Gosh, I'll never get over that. I really won't. Okay, hit it with a leaf tornado. If Arthur did not hit, I was probably going to actually just forgo attacking again. But no, that's a one-shot. Beautiful. And actually, you know what? Out of the three, timber is probably the least ugly because while the vein armpit is horrifying, it just gets worse as time goes on and as it continues to evolve. Trust me on that. TM41 Torment. TM41 Torment is a move that prevents Pokemon from using the same move more than one turn in a row. So it can honestly be very helpful if they have like a super special attack that might not be the most accurate. Or if it's one that you just don't want to get... You can tank once, but you don't want to get hit by multiple times. That gives you extra turns to deal with it. So I wanted to hold off using a repel here, but I don't think that's going to be doable. I'm just going to call this one an episode, and we'll meet back on the road in the next one. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Let's Play Pokemon White very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.